Every time someone disrespects you, your first reaction can destroy or save your life. Most people fail at this. What if I told you there's a method to make disrespect vanish and earn real respect instead? If you want the exact phrases and strategies to instantly command respect and stop disrespect cold, hit that like button and stay till the end. Disrespect often stems from music perception, and the fastest way to neutralize it is by owning your presence. Because before anyone speaks, they are already reading the energy music you project. Owning your presence doesn't mean being loud, aggressive, or dominating. It means being grounded, confident, and deliberate in every action and gesture, creating a natural authority that others instinctively recognize. From the moment you walk into a room, your posture, pace, and tone set the stage for how people treat you. Music, straight shoulders, slow and purposeful movements, calm breathing, and music, direct but composed eye contact broadcast that you are not easily shaken, that your attention and energy are yours to control, and that you cannot be casually dismissed. Disrespect thrives where there is uncertainty, insecurity, or volatility, because those are the openings people exploit music to belittle, manipulate, or provoke. When you anchor yourself in presence, you remove those openings completely. Music, it is not about pretending to be unbothered or acting invulnerable. It is about genuinely controlling your energy music so that reactions are conscious and intentional rather than reactive and chaotic. Every interaction becomes a demonstration of music, your stability, signaling that disrespect will not find fertile ground here. Practicing presence requires conscious music effort, especially in tense or high-pressure situations, because the music instinct is often to respond immediately, defensively, or emotionally, which inadvertently invites further disrespect. By training yourself to remain centered, to maintain deliberate gestures, and to control your voice and expression, you communicate strength music without words and shut down disrespect before it can manifest. Over time, this consistency rewires social dynamics around you. People adjust their behavior unconsciously, offering respect as a default because they sense music that attempts to undermine or provoke you will fail or appear foolish. Owning your music presence is a preventative strategy, a shield, and a form of silent authority that commands respect music effortlessly. It transforms the way others perceive and treat you. And it eliminates the need for confrontation, because once you have anchored your presence, disrespect music simply cannot survive. It dissipates in the face of unwavering confidence, leaving only recognition of your authority and the influence you naturally wield. Reacting impulsively to disrespect is exactly what gives it power. Because the moment you allow your emotions to take over, you hand control of the situation to the person trying to provoke you. And suddenly their words or actions dictate your energy, your music mood, and even how others perceive you. Most people respond instinctively, shouting, arguing, or lashing out, thinking that defending themselves will stop the disrespect. But in reality, this only feeds it, amplifies it, and validates the aggressor's attempt to unsettle you. The key to killing disrespect is learning to pause, breathe, and assess before reacting, creating a buffer between stimulus and response that shifts the power dynamic entirely back into your hands. When you respond with measured calmness or even strategic silence, you communicate control, self-mastery, and emotional intelligence, signaling that disrespect cannot touch you because it meets no resistance or chaos to exploit. Silence, in particular, is a weapon most people underestimate. When someone expects a reaction and finds none, their disrespect loses momentum and often collapses on itself because it relies on eliciting a response to exist. Even a simple composed acknowledgement of the situation can neutralize attempts at provocation, making it clear that your attention, energy, and respect are not freely given, and disrespect will not manipulate you into chaos. Emotional control also protects your reputation because others observing the interaction see a person who is steady, confident, and above petty provocations rather than someone easily rattled or reactive. Developing this skill requires practice, pausing for a moment before speaking, taking a deep breath, and consciously choosing whether a reaction serves your long-term goal or simply satisfies a fleeting impulse. Over time, your measured responses condition those around you. They learn that attempts to provoke, insult, or belittle are futile because you have mastered the subtle art of controlling yourself before controlling others. In this way, disrespect dies not with confrontation, but with your refusal to validate it. Music and the power to define the interaction always remains yours, leaving the aggressor powerless and the respect you command music intact. Setting boundaries is one of the most crucial strategies to eliminate disrespect because it draws a clear line between music, what is acceptable and what is not. Signaling to others that your time, energy, music, and values are not negotiable commodities to be exploited or disregarded. Without boundaries, music disrespect thrives because people naturally test limits, push comfort zones, and take advantage of anyone who does not assertively define what is off limits. Establishing boundaries does not require aggression or hostility. Music requires clarity, consistency, and confidence in enforcing them. A boundary music can be as simple as calmly stating what behavior you will not tolerate, removing music yourself from toxic situations, or refusing to engage with people who undermine or belittle you. Music, when boundaries are vague or inconsistent, people interpret hesitation as weakness, and music disrespect grows, spreading like a contagion because there is no consequence for crossing lines. On the other hand, when boundaries are clear and consistently music maintained, they create a protective framework around your personal space and energy, making it immediately apparent when someone is attempting music to overstep. Enforcing boundaries also communicates self-respect. Music and people respond to that. They adjust their behavior not out of fear, but out of recognition that you value yourself and your environment. Setting boundaries is both proactive and reactive. Proactively, you define your expectations before disrespect occurs, creating a buffer zone that discourages violations. Music, reactively, you respond to disrespect in a controlled manner by asserting the limits you have established, which stops further music attempts in their tracks. Over time, consistently maintained boundaries teach others that disrespect carries consequences, music, and they learn to navigate your presence with respect rather than exploitation. Importantly, music boundaries are not rigid walls, but flexible structures that protect music you while allowing healthy relationships to flourish. They are a declaration that your energy, dignity, and values are sacred, and any attempt to violate music them is futile. By setting and enforcing boundaries, you make disrespect irrelevant music because it cannot survive in a space where limits are clearly defined, respected, and defended. Music with calm authority, creating an environment in which respect becomes the default music and disregard becomes impossible. Calling out disrespect subtly is one of the most effective ways to neutralize music, because it exposes the behavior without giving it extra fuel or creating unnecessary confrontation, allowing you to maintain music control while signaling that disrespect will not go unnoticed. Subtlety is key. It's not about shouting, shaming, or humiliating music the other person, but about using calm, measured, and strategic communication that highlights music the issue without escalating tension. For example, a quiet correction, a pointed question, or a simple statement that reframes the behavior can make the aggressor aware that their disrespect has been noticed, music often catching them off guard because they expected compliance music or emotional reaction. This method works because disrespect often survives on invisibility and the target's reaction. When music is called out in a controlled manner, it loses its power and becomes transparent to music, both the instigator and the surrounding observers. Subtle confrontation also protects your energy and reputation music as it avoids drama while establishing authority. People respect those who handle difficult situations with composure rather music than emotion-driven responses, and subtle call-outs communicate intelligence. Confidence and self-respect. Music, timing, tone, and delivery are critical. A calm voice, direct eye contact, and a measured pace convey authority, while any hint of panic, anger, or defensiveness can undermine the subtlety and inadvertently feed the disrespect. This approach also has a ripple effect. Observers witness that disrespect is neither ignored nor tolerated, which sets a social standard that music discourages further attempts. Moreover, calling out disrespect subtly allows you to maintain the moral high ground because you are responding with strategy rather than reacting impulsively, demonstrating that your power lies in control, not retaliation. Music, over time, this technique conditions people around you to recognize that disrespect is noticed and addressed intelligently, reducing the frequency of attempts and reinforcing respect as the default behavior. Subtle call-outs are a form of silent authority. They kill disrespect quietly but effectively, making it clear that attempts to undermine or provoke you are futile while music preserving your dignity, focus, and influence in any environment. Leading with respect. Music is one of the most powerful ways to kill disrespect because it flips the dynamic entirely. When you music give respect first, you set a standard for how interaction should unfold, and people are often compelled to mirror the behavior they receive. Disrespect thrives in environments where tension, music, suspicion, or hostility dominate because it feeds on defensiveness and chaos. But by intentionally choosing music respect, you create a framework where disrespect becomes socially and psychologically awkward. Leading with respect does not mean being naive, permissive, or allowing yourself to be walked over. It means communicating consideration, fairness, music, and composure while still maintaining clear boundaries and standards for how you are treated. When someone attempts to belittle or provoke you, responding music with calm acknowledgement, measured tone, and courteous language demonstrates that your focus is on principles and music, not petty conflict. And this approach often disarms the aggressor because their tactic relies on music generating emotional reaction or confrontation. People naturally tend to reciprocate respect even unconsciously because social and cognitive cues signal that music, cooperative and considerate behavior is expected and rewarded. By consistently leading with respect, music, you train others to adjust their behavior and you prevent disrespect from escalating because attempts to undermine you clash with the framework of music, mutual acknowledgement you have established. This approach also strengthens your own self-perception and authority as you are acting from a position of principle rather than reaction, music reinforcing that your self-worth is independent of how others behave. Over time, leading with respect becomes a strategy that not only neutralizes immediate acts of disrespect, but also cultivates an environment where respect music is the default mode, creating positive social reinforcement that discourages future violations. Importantly, this does not make you weak or passive. Music, it makes you strategic and unshakable because the combination of calm authority, music, and principled behavior creates an invisible barrier around your dignity and influence. Disrespect, music, when met with intentional respect, loses its energy and relevance because it relies on provoking the very reactions you consciously avoid giving. And in doing so, it gradually disappears, leaving you in a position of consistent control, credibility, and unassailable presence. Building allies is a critical strategy in eliminating disrespect music because no one exists in a vacuum. And the social context